Former Ethereum developer Virgil Griffith went to North Korea and he helped them out with cryptocurrency knowledge back in 2019. A little bit of a crypto conference, huh? So when he came back, the United States got a little weary, and they said he actually was doing a treasonous act. He was helping North Korea evade sanctions through cryptocurrency, and for that he will be arrested and charged with one count. That's a felony, by the way, and facing a maximum sentence of 20 years, but a minimum of 5, one count of conspiracy to violate international sanctions that were placed on North Korea. So with that, the judge in New York said he was looking between 63 months and over 72 months. So on the lower end, he ended up getting 63. He did a plea deal. His attorneys, and there was a whole action to try and ask for clemency, for leniency. And some people said, he didn't know what he was doing. Anytime you're involved with North Korea, it always gets a little sketchy in terms of the law, right? Tourists, maybe not so much, but you go to a country where there have been American citizens that have gone over there and they have disrespected the law over there, and it's not like it's over here. Where, you pay a ticket or whatever. There have been people that paid with their lives for ripping down posters and whatnot. And just like any country on this planet, you have to respect their laws. No matter what the laws may be, unfortunately, those in North Korea are a little bit stricter. And in certain cases, they don't tolerate breaking the law at all. They don't care if you're a foreigner. And with that said, whatever you do in North Korea can have consequences, not only in North Korea, but outside of it as well. And unfortunately, maybe something so small as helping out with cryptocurrency, which I don't think Virgil wanted to do anything treasonous. I just think he wanted to help people, help the world understand Ethereum and cryptocurrency better. And who better than him to do it, because he is an Ethereum developer, an early cryptocurrency enthusiast, someone who really knows their stuff, and was invited down to speak. Now, with that, he's going to be facing 63 months, of which he already served 10, technically 2 years behind, not behind bars because he was released on bail after 10. So for 14 months, he was out on bail, but 2 years in custody. And he owes a $100,000 fine. So he's got 53 months left to serve in prison. That's quite a lot for something that, it's going to cost him a lot of his life. It's going to cost him a lot of money. It's going to cost him his reputation. It's going to be much harder for him to find a job. I think with good time served, he might come out earlier, but I'm sure he really regrets that decision. Now, there's so many other things that could have gone wrong. But with this, unfortunately, we are getting into a time right now where cybercrime units are being trained, and over the next couple of years, there's going to be a lot more crime related to cryptocurrency, just like with any currency out there. But specifically with cryptocurrency, there's a lot more hackers, there's a lot more scammers, and you have to be very careful of where you are involved with this. Because if you are helping the wrong side, the law will not take too kindly. The Wild West days are gone, and now there's going to be a lot of regulation. Now, you might be wondering, why did he get such a harsh sentence? The judge said, of course, if you're facing a maximum of 20, and this is a first-time offense, he got the lower end of the spectrum. He got 63 months, and, with good time. His lawyers did argue for the 10 months that was served to be counted as double, and that there's harsh conditions at the prison, which I don't doubt. I think that prisons in America can be very harsh with gangs and whatnot, and the possibility, very real possibility, of death sometimes. Now, with that said, there was evidence, and some pretty good evidence at that, to state that this guy was not so innocent. Regardless of whatever his intentions might have been, whether he was arrogant about it and maybe just a little silly and wasn't thinking straight, his family did warn him against going to North Korea. He was warned not to go there. And there was text messages that were found that he specifically went there to help North Korea evade sanctions. And there was a picture of him in a North Korean traditional black suit, with him smiling, pointing towards the blackboard that said, "No sanctions." So I think he knew what he was doing, and the very act itself probably wasn't that treasonous, but it was treasonous nonetheless. And in the eyes of the law of America, it is a crime, and he has to pay for it. There is also a need for these types of crimes to, since they're very rare, for them to be portrayed publicly as something that there will be harsh sentences for, to deter other individuals from also performing these treasonous acts. Now, again, I don't really think that this is something that he probably should have received this much time for. I think it was an honest mistake, and I think he knew what he was doing, but he just didn't care, and he didn't think it was going to be that bad. He thought maybe that he would return home as a rebel, as a hero, as someone who's spreading the word of cryptocurrency and freedom. And there's a lot of free thinkers in crypto where they want to steer away from government and banking and all this, but we don't live in a world like that. And sometimes, unfortunately, your actions have severe consequences. And in this case, I think he was just made an example of. And that's pretty much what the judge admitted to. But at the end of the day, eventually he'll come out. Probably he'll get some publicity and money, and he's a smart guy, so I'm sure he'll fix his life, but just a momentary lapse in his judgment. He probably shouldn't have returned to America. He probably should have gone somewhere where America was not able to punish him. But again, I don't think he thought that anything would happen. So, what do you think? Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.